Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and to this whole new chapter which is going to be for the canopy. So here we have the battery hatch, and then Cliff came up with the idea of making the canopy removable, which would give me access to the servos. Not that I ever want to access the servos, but it might not be a bad idea to have that option, and at the same time it will give me the opportunity to work on the canopy, let's say, off the model. Now the back part of the canopy, this is this part. I'm going to have to do it probably out of paper and or plastic together. Maybe I might do like a plastic cover and then a paper cover on top of it to give the shape of the window, of the rear window, and then the middle part or the forward part of the cockpit, that will be the removable part. So what I've done already, I've put together like it's a 1mm, 1.5mm actually, I'm not sure, 1.5mm base, and then the base is going to come in here, kind of fits in there. And now what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see it, if I turn it maybe, then I'm going to create formers here for the back and a former for the front, which actually be like the equivalent of the dashboard. And then once I have that in place, then I'm going to have to build up the structure that's going to hold the plastic canopy, which is going to be also a challenge in itself. So for the moment, as I say, I've got this bit here. I'm going to do these formers, and then for the plastic canopy, I think I'm going to do plastic because I was thinking of just building the frame. I'm going to have to carve out a shape, and I've got a big shape somewhere from the P47, but I don't know where that one is now. I've got this one from the Gladiator that didn't actually work out too well, but I've got also one from the P47. But basically I need to glue thick pieces of balsa together, laminate them together to get the right shape, carve it down with the edges, then put some plastic on top of it and melt it over the toaster. So it's going to be a toaster chapter, this one. I'm not sure if I record that or not, but I'll show you at least the results. So follow me along on this one and let's see what the canopy looks like. And let me update you on the progress of the canopy. So this is the profile, the side of the canopy that I'm using as a model basically to follow, with a block of 10mm, like 4 bits of the 10mm balsa glued all together, clamped together, and then with the profile of the former E, which is the back of the canopy, I've traced it onto here, onto this shape. And it's an interesting shape. I'm not sure exactly what it's like actually in reality, but anyhow, I'm going with that shape so that it kind of fits into the back former of here, the kind of the canopy hatch, let's call it like that. And then going forward, I kind of extended it a little bit, so it's a bit of a different shape. And then I've just also transferred here that cut the windshield, what's going to be kind of the windshield. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop this off, and then this probably would be good as smooth as possible, as flat as possible. And then I've got to see if there's any need actually to reduce a little bit the canopy, that it feels that it looks a little bit like more streamlined. I have the feeling it's a bit too fat on this side, too chunky, but anyhow, that's the carving. How I do it is, then for this chunk I probably use a saw. I've got a small saw, hand saw, and then for details I use the cutter, and probably this then I'll also then sand it down as flat as I can, because then that's going to be the model then for the plastic canopy. So I'll update you on that. So the moment of truth is coming close. I used to have some canopy plastic, but I can't find it. I think I used most of it up, so maybe it's not such a big loss. But I found some other plastic from the box of a toy. It's much thinner, and I'm not sure how it's going to react with heat. So now the plan is, and also I've taken the shape of the canopy and I've glued it onto a film canister. I think most of you know what these are. So what I'm going to do is now put this beside the toaster, heat this over the toaster, and when I think it's hot enough or soft enough, squeeze it over this. I've only got one go because I don't have enough more plastic, so if that fails, then it's down to the hobby shop for more plastic. So let's see if it works first time. So as forecasted, it did not work out. The plastic was interesting. Once I warmed it up for the second time, it kind of shrank again, like the whole thing went away. But then the challenge is here to get the shape of the bottom part, right, like that it somehow wraps in underneath. That's where the vacuum forming techniques actually is better. I've got, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole in the back, a tear out, which maybe would be okay because that's kind of at the spot where I would anyhow have to cut it out. But then there's another tear out here, which is not okay. So that means that it's over to the hobby shop. Let's see if next time it works. And time to wrap up this video. As you can see, I've managed to put in also the rear part of the canopy. That's plastic, and I put the tissue on before gluing it on. The battle here was that I had to use, because it's relatively stiff, this plastic is the first one. It's not the same type of plastic actually, it's the one that I failed with, and it's relatively stiff, as I say, so I had to use super glue. So I kept having my fingers and thumbs stuck to this part, but I managed in the end. For Cliff's cockpit, what I've done, I've cut some strips of tissue and basically like that, like marked the frame of the cockpit. I'm not sure if it's good or not, but anyhow, it is what it is. If push comes to shove, then I could also change it. And then just because why not, I started already to put the tissue covering on the battery hatch itself, and just made sure that it fits. So I'm going to put in another couple of layers of tissue there. And I also noticed that I probably need to paint this, right? This I hadn't thought of. So I have to paint this kind of bulkhead so that it's all nice and green. So some progress. The next step is going to be probably to turn it around somehow, build up a frame, and start to build the lower part of the fuselage. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for following along, and I'll see you next time.